Alright, so now we're going to go over what the administration and scoring instructions are for the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, also known as MOCA. So this assessment should be done in 10 minutes. It is a rapid screening instrument for mild cognitive dysfunction, and it has 8 different cognitive domains that are being assessed. Attention and concentration, executive functions, memory, language, visual-constructual skills, conceptual thinking, calculations, and orientation. And there are 11 different sections on the assessment. So I have the assessment here with me, so I'm going to hold it up to the camera and just run through one by one of what exactly you have to do for each one. Alright, so here you see it starts here with number 1. The first one, we're going to ask them to draw a line going from a number to a letter in ascending order. So you're going to tell them to begin here at 1, go to A, 2, except like moving forward all the way until you get here to E. So how they're going to get a point if they successfully draw the following pattern, basically going from 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E without drawing any lines that cross. And any errors that are not immediately self-corrected earns a score of 0. The next one is the cube. What you're going to tell them to do is to copy the same exact cube here in this space provided below. This next section is going to be the visual constructional skills, so you're going to ask them to draw a clock. And then in the clock, you're going to ask them to put all the numbers and set the time to 10 after 11. And you'll get a point for the contour, the numbers, and the hands. The next one is going to be naming. So what you're going to ask them to do is to name all these animals. All animals that are named correctly get a point. The next section is attention. So for this one, oh, sorry, I skipped one. Memory. So first one, this next one, you're going to tell them, you're going to give them these 5 words. They have to remember these 5 words. So you're going to say the 5 words one by one, each at a rate of 1 per second. And then you're going to ask them, once you're done with all 5, to repeat the 5 words. Each one that they get correct, you're going to mark in here. You're going to read the list again for a second time, and then all the ones that they get correct, you're going to put it in that column right there. The next one that you're going to do is going to be this one right here. So you're going to read this list of numbers, and you're going to ask them to repeat it back to you. For this one, you're going to read the list of the 3 numbers, but you're going to ask them to repeat it back to you backwards. So if they're able to do it correctly, they'll get 1 point each for each one that they get correct. The next one is going to be this list of letters. So you're going to read the list of letters at a rate of 1 per second. Each time they see a letter A, they're going to tap their hand. So it's just going to look like a tap on the desk or table. Alright, so for each tap that they do correctly, they'll get a point for that. The next one is going to be serial 7s. So you're going to ask them to count by subtracting 7 from 100. And then keep subtracting 7 from your answer until I tell you to stop. The goal is going to be 4 to 5. That's going to give them a total of 3 points. Then 2 points for 2 to 3 correct, 1 point for 1 correct, and 0 points if they don't get any. The next one section is going to be sentence repetition. So you're going to read the sentence to the client, and you're going to ask them to repeat that sentence back to you. And there's one sentence up here, and then there's a second sentence there. So each one they get correct, they get 1 point. The next one's going to be verbal fluency. So you're going to tell them that you're going to provide them a letter of the alphabet, and you're going to give them 60 seconds to think of as many words as they can with that one letter of the alphabet. So for this test, the letter of the alphabet is actually going to be F. So what you will tell them is, now tell me as many words you can think of that begin with the letter F, and you'll start your time for 60 seconds. Once 60 seconds is up, you hit stop, and you give them 1 point if they generate 11 or more words in 60 seconds. The next section is abstraction. So you're going to explain that each pair of words, like basically they have something in common. So you're trying to get them to tell you what these words have in common. So you're going to give them an example. Tell me how an orange and a banana are alike. If the subject answers in a concrete manner, they say only one additional time. Tell me another way in which those items are alike. If they don't give the appropriate response, which we're looking for fruit, then you say yes, but they are also both fruit. And you don't give any additional information or clarification. So for these, you're going to ask them, okay, so tell me what does train and bicycle, like how they are like. Then after the response, you'll do the second one. Now tell me how a ruler and a watch are alike. Once you're done, what you're looking for is train and bicycle, means of transportation, means of traveling, or you take trips in both. For the ruler and watch, you're looking for measuring instruments or used to measure. Give 1 point to each item pair correctly answered. The next one is delayed recall. So these 5 words that you asked them earlier in the test up here, you're going to ask them to recall again. So if they're able to recall, for each word that they're able to recall without any cues, you're going to give them a point. And as an option, you can give them 2 different kinds of cues, a category cue or a multiple choice cue. But any that they answer with those cues, you cannot count as points towards the assessment. The last one's going to be orientation. You're going to ask them, tell me the date today. If they don't give a complete answer, then you're going to prompt them by saying, okay, tell me the year, month, exact day, and day of the week. And then you're going to say, now tell me the name of this place and which city it is in. Give 1 point for each item correctly answered. The subject must tell the exact date and exact place. No points are allocated if subject makes an error of the day. Alright, so then you're going to add up all the total points from all the columns, and you'll put it here at the bottom. And like I said in the beginning, 26 or higher is considered normal. Also, you're going to add 1 point for an individual who has 12 years or fewer of formal education. That can give them a possible maximum of 30 points. Alright, so that is the Montreal Cognitive Assessment that we just ran through. Alright, that all has to be done in 10 minutes.